Just need to connect my device.
Quite a nice space, huh? Okay. That is actually also just interesting, you know, how life can happen. And what I find fascinating is how in yoga you realize that it's up to you to deal with those kind of energies. I used to stress out like a crazy person. Now I'm like, okay, well, Margarita's here. It's okay. And then rather than, you know, not breathing, you go, okay, it's okay. We'll make it. Hey, Paul, sorry for being late. Lovely to have you.
All good, all good. You well?
Awesome. I'm well. Good. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, good. All fine.
So let's come into a comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and straight. Close your eyes. And then feel that energy inside you, outside you. So because I was rushing, I'm aware that my heart is beating quite fast, that it's harder to slow down my breath, or it will take a while, and that's okay. That is exactly what yin does to us when life gets quite busy and overwhelming and we're rushing from one place to the next. It allows us to counter that energy with softness, stillness, slowing down rather than speeding up. And that's from an energetical point of view. We, from a physical point of view, stretch deep into connective tissue, reaching places in the body that simply just need time to release. And also we hold on to things in our body, whether it's stress or trauma, experiences from the past, or ideas or fears about the future. Our bodies hold on to that energy, and stretching deeply into those areas, specifically shoulders, hips, it's very beneficial. A sense of surrender and letting go. And then, yes, the breath. The breath is our tool to connect to self, to slow down and regulate the body. So take a couple of very nice, deep, slow breaths in and out. And I find it fascinating that we have this tool with us always. We just often forget to use it. So practicing it here on our mats can help us create that habit. Oh yes, my breath is there for me. I can count on my breath. Let's place our hands in front of the heart. A personal moment to maybe set an intention or a dedication of your practice. And if this is new to you, that's okay. You can, for example, set an intention of gratitude for this whole year. Just every time you sit here, like a bit of a ceremonial thing, go, okay, I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for 1, 2, 3 things, people, animals, stuff that has happened, or, you know, maybe something you're looking forward to. Gratitude is a very powerful one. Maybe you have your own personal intention or dedication. You may bow your intellect, your brain towards your heart, your thumbs towards your third eye, your place of intuition. And then you can come onto your back with a block or a bolster under your spine. So I I have these pulses as well. I've got more if you wanted to buy one. You don't have to. Otherwise, you can be creative with your own props. So you can bring a beach towel and roll it up, but we can also do this class without props. So it's just that it makes it a little bit more comfortable or challenging. It depends. But for now, you can even take this one for this specific pose. So you do like Margarita. You can either place it under your heart space, or I've got the long direction. Good, yeah, we'll share. Good, so you can also choose to either put a block, you can use one of the two block props, either put a block underneath your shoulder blades, under your heart, or your roller. So this is a nice opening of your chest. Another thing we do in these yin classes is counter our body position from what we do all day long. Now you can bring the soles of the feet to touch. So you're in a symmetrical shape. So also just bring the soles of the feet to touch. Yes. And then you can choose. Yeah, exactly. And we're actually going to put the pillow right underneath your heart. Right? So, yep. Now we just need to check your head. Is your head okay there?
Yeah.
Good. And the soles of the feet to touch. Now, when you bring the feet close to your groin, it's more stretch. When it's further, and it's more is not always better. So somewhere in yin, it's like, okay, I could be here for a while. Your lungs are nicely spread in the front. That looks good, Jeremy. And then we close our eyes and we commit to stillness. Awesome, Emma. That's it, cool. I'll be your timekeeper. So you can actually also let go of having to keep track of time, which allows you to just be in this moment, to be with the sensations in the body, to be with your breath. Can you feel the subtle rising and falling of your chest? And can you slow and deepen the breath? Soften the skin on your face, soften your jaw. Specifically on the exhale. So yin, the yin practice is like, energetically, it can be like a sigh, like, okay, let's just be. What can you soften on the next exhale? And the mind, depending on what you've done today, might be a little bit busy, still lingering, linked to what activities you've been doing. That's all right. Just know that you can always draw your attention back to your breath, which brings you into the here and the now, into the present moment, because every breath we take in the present moment. Soften the belly button, soften the abdominal muscles, which also allows for your organs to soften. Some people like to count their breath, so their brain and their minds and their attention is with the breath, not only with the quality and the sensations of the breath, but also with the length, which gives the brain, which gives your mind something to do. So it's around 4 to 6 counts to breathe in. 6 to 8 counts. So yes, in yin, your exhales may be longer, maybe even focus more on your exhale. To slow those down, to deepen those. And in the yin practice, actually in any yoga practice, but specifically in the yin practice, there is no you have to. you should, you need to. No, you can just be here, and you can also move out. If you feel like, okay, this is getting a little bit too much for me. I can't breathe freely and it's hard for me to keep a smile on my face, then just change. Change, come onto your belly, or just on your side. Both healing and or if you're interested in the spiritual world, is private. There's no judgment. There's no wrong or right way. It's private. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. And then slowly bring the hands towards your back of your skull. Lift up, chin towards your chest. And maybe look at your belly button. And then roll onto the side of your prop, nice and safe. You can remove the prop from underneath you. And then we come to a happy baby pose to open up into the groin and the hips as well. Now, in happy baby pose, it's like you're standing on the ceiling. And depending on the length, like some people are quite stiff on the back line. They want to hold on, but then it doesn't look that comfortable. In that case, I've got a belt. I've got 2 here. I think Jeremy has its own belt. So I would use a belt here if I were you. Just bring the belt over the soles of the feet. Yes. And then try to flatten, instead of having this all the way up, try to flatten the sacrum back down. Yeah, nice. Awesome. Such a flexible lady you are. Is it? Do you feel it? Oh, wow. Yeah, but you're pretty flexible. Nice. So Paul, maybe also take a belt if you have one. Then you can bend the knees and the knees can come more towards your armpits. That's it. Yeah, so the knees go a little bit wider, the feet go a little bit wider, Paul. Yes. You can also, if you don't have a belt, choose to hold on to the back of the knees and then the feet stand on the ceiling, or you hold on to the ankles or the feet. Good. Now, not all the poses are going to be like, ooh, this is nice. Maybe this is a pose where you go like, ooh, I am feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Whether that's physical or mental, okay. Try to breathe and know that you can always move out. Stay with the sensations and that the breath supports the shape. And underneath this potential feeling of being a bit uncomfortable, let the breath soothe, calm you down. And with every breath, you breathe space into the body, into the joints, into the fascia, into the muscles. Make sure your shoulders and your neck are relaxed. And I would definitely encourage you to close your eyes. What tends to happen is when we have our eyes open, we get distracted. The outer world starts to draw our attention, whether it is the building or the light or, whatever it is. So if you close your eyes, there's less distraction. You can focus on yourself, your breath, your thoughts, your feelings around this moment. Be in the experience. One more minute here. Breathe. And if at some stage you feel it's intense, you can always kind of do a little sigh or out of the mouth. Takes the pressure off it all a little bit. And if there's shaking, it's okay. You can stay with the shaking or just take a little less and less intense variation. Give yourself some space so you can breathe freely. 5 more rounds of breath. Take a deep breath in. Slowly release your belt. And then bring the feet down towards the floor. A moment of rebound. So rebound is just to be still. We won't be here for too long. Just feel the lingering of the shapes. You can have your feet flat on the floor with the knees pointing up, palms facing up. Maybe you feel some tingling sensations around the groin or in the feet because the feet were also up. Remind yourself of your intention or dedication. Nice. And you can roll onto your side and gently come up to a seated position. Extend both legs in front of you. Now we all have different bodies, and yin is also a lovely place to discover your body and go like, oh, this looks different in mine than someone else without judging about it. So if it's quite difficult for you to sit up straight, you'll notice that if you sit on something, it's a little easier to find that lift in the pelvis, a tilt in the pelvis. Let me just think. Yes. Bend your right knee. You can step it over. Feel both sit bones into the prop and then lift your arms up towards the sky and then twist towards the right side. You may place your right hand behind you on a block or on the floor. That's it. If you flex your left foot gently, it doesn't have to be super active. You feel a little bit more anchored, and from that anchor, you can lift up against gravity. Option to now drop the right ear towards the right shoulder, and that stretches here on the left side of the neck, and then close your eyes. So twists are very good for the spine, creating space, which will in the end give you more mobility. There's more space in the body. Even when you fall, you'll just catch yourself. You're more like an elastic band almost, rather than a stiff stick. In twist, it's not always easy to breathe. So if you're struggling to breathe, just maybe back off a little bit, find a place where you can continue breathing deeply and freely. Your breath will be your guide more than I am your guide. I just propose the shapes, you find your way in the shape, take the variation or options that work for you, and then the breath is there for you. The breath is your real guide. It will show you if you might want to, sometimes we want to go deep. It's just the mind thinking that it's better. And then less is often more. Around 10 more rounds of breath here. What can you soften while you stay upright? Soften the shoulders away from the ears. With every breath, it's like the heart wants to blossom up towards the heavens. And the intention, you won't see it from the outside, is to twist and rinse and cleanse a little more. Bring the head back up straight above your shoulders. Breathe in and then gently release. Breathe out. Okay, if you're seated on something, move your buttocks off the seat. Otherwise, you can keep your legs quite similar. Maybe you need a belt. We'll go back onto our backs with a figure 4. Then you can loop the belt around the sole of the foot. Or just let it hang out. So it's specifically if you feel that the leg is quite bent and this feels like an effort for you to hold your legs up, then the belt can just bring everything into place. If it feels okay for you, then you can even relax your left foot and just let it be up there. That's it. If you are using a belt, just make sure that you hold it somewhere that the back of the shoulder blades are resting on the floor. So if you hold it up too high, the shoulders actually creep up towards the ceiling. So let them be flat onto the floor and then let them be like relaxed, so you can relax them away from the ears. Opening into the hip. Anything where the legs are above your hips, it's called an inversion. Letting gravity pull on your body in the opposite way compared to what you do most of the day. Beneficial for your lymph, for your blood pressure. Breathe. Digesting your day, subconsciously, consciously. Deep breaths in, and notice also when you breathe in, the front, yes, the front of the rib cage expands up. It needs space. Those lungs need space inside the body. But it also is a bit of a expansion in the back of the body. You can feel the ribs very subtly expand and maybe press a little bit into the mat when you breathe in. Inhale for space, exhale for surrender and letting go. Now from the outside, it will look like we're having a little nap, but you might, reach a physical or mental edge. Physically, it's often, just the fact that we're here for a while and the body is stretching into places it's not used to, for it to go, this is new to me. I want to maybe move out. And mentally, the stillness specifically might be challenging. You can get frustrated. And there's often a tendency to want to move the fingers, fiddle a bit. If you notice that coming up, just be aware. The practice of awareness, and then just focus back onto your breath. Couple more rounds of breath here. Take another deep breath in. And sigh it out, release everything down to the floor and find a prop closest to you. We are going to be in supported bridge pose. I am going to take a block, but anyone that wants to use the bolster, you can. The disadvantage of these wooden blocks is that it's quite hard, but I'm used to it. At home, you can, or here even, you can put a towel around it to make it softer. Nice, Margarita, awesome. Yeah. Now let's not go for the highest, because we're going to, well, you may, but the balancing might be a little challenging because we're going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to take 2 blocks. You need just be honest with your lower back. Be careful with your lower back here. So yes, this is supported bridge. We often do it like this. Today, you may extend your legs fully, like you're in Shavasana, to see what height you want the block to be in, probably medium height. And now you feel that stretch here into your groin. Now, this might be strange. I'm not sure you've ever done this, but you've got glands here. You've got glands that sit right into your groin. You've got glands here and also in your armpits. Armpits are harder to feel. Now, for me, my glands, I can feel 2 little bubbles. And the right one is a little bigger than the left. Those are a massive indication of your health. So when they start to swell, like the ones that behind your ear, they can also swell. It might be time to take it easy. It's just interesting. Sometimes when I'm like, I feel I might be getting sick, I check in with these glands. I just feel them and go like, oh, they're struggling. I see it as how could you see, like a place where the garbage gets stuck, where the body is struggling to release. So it's like, can't find the English word, it will come to me now. Like almost like a bottleneck, where it gets stuck, it can't flow through. And that's an indication that the body is trying to detoxify whatever it needs to get rid of, but it's struggling a bit. So when those are swollen, it's a early warning sign of the body. Nice. The arms can also be overhead. That means you are stretching in both the groin and the glands around the groin, and maybe even the armpit glands as well. Good. Please know that if this is too much for whatever reason, you just bring your feet back to the floor and you come in normal supported bridge pose. It pulls quite a lot in your groin, in your hip flexor area, or you might feel it around the sacrum. What I do like also here is that the chest is lifted and up and away from the floor. So it feels quite free to breathe here. Some poses feel more restricted than others when it comes to the breath. A sigh is welcome. A counting of your breath is welcome. Maybe create a bit of space between the top lip and the bottom lip of your mouth that allows the jaw to soften, that allows your cheeks to soften. Oh, and yin used to be difficult for me because I'm a doer. I'm a busy, busy bee. So the stillness was extremely uncomfortable. And the more you practice it, the more I enjoy it. And now I even crave it. I crave the meditative state, the slowing down, the being just with myself. Energy inwards instead of outwards, recharging, resetting. Wherever you feel resistance, send some softness towards that area, and it's easiest on your exhale. Just tell your hips or tell your hip flexors to relax. 3 more rounds of breath here. On the next inhale, gently move slowly. Walk your feet back to where they came from. Just take a moment here to feel the support on your blocks. And your hands can come towards your block or blocks. Now you'll need to go from very passive muscles to a slight activation, pressing the feet into the floor, removing your blocks, and then vertebra by vertebra, you can lift your sit bone and tailbone, roll the spine down, upper back, middle back, lower back, pelvis to the floor. Once you're in a neutral position, take a deep breath in and a bit of a sigh out. 4 rounds of breath here, just to be still, to feel the effect wherever you feel it. I personally find that quite strong. But your bodies might not be, well, your bodies are not like mine. They're all different. So maybe that was not so intense for you. It's okay. Roll onto your side and gently come back up into a seated position. Legs in front of you, find your sit bones. Option to sit on something. Just, it really helps to elevate the spine when you sit on something. We'll do that spinal twist. And often also when we do these asymmetrical shapes, we think that we need to do exactly the same on the right and the left, which is it's not the case. So just start from scratch as if you don't know where we're going. And then bend your left knee. The foot can be quite close to the ankle, can be close in over the leg. Feel your sit bones, and then first lengthen through the spine. Take a deep breath in. It's the left leg bends. twist to the other side. But your legs are, you're twisting to the outside of the knee. So I think it's the other leg, Margarita. Now change your legs. Yes. There we go. Slight activation in the right foot there. That can help you anchor and grow tall. Find that shape. I often close my eyes. Well, Yin is just nice with the eyes closed, but then what I imagine is that my spine, this, let's call it a stick that runs from the bottom, you know, close to the pelvis to the beginning of your skull. And it's like a corkscrew. So the body's screwing, turning around its own midline. If you want to drop your left ear towards your left shoulder, you may. It stretches nicely into the outside of the right, you know, the right side of your neck. You found your position and now you can just be still. Be with the sensations. Be with your breath. Know that you're creating space in the body. Know that you're detoxifying. You're also squeezing your organs. And let the breath be there for you. In Vinyasa, we cultivate Ujjayi breath. So that's in and out of the nose with a restriction in the back of the throat. But that breath also creates heat. So it's actually a stimulating breath. So in Yin, we try to just breathe softly. Maybe pretend when you breathe in as if you're smelling flowers, very gently. And on the exhale, as if you are blowing out a candle, but very slowly, not like very slowly. Or on the exhale, it's almost like you're drinking, you're breathing out the air through a little straw. So you know how when you drink through a straw, you do it slowly, you don't go like, you just go. So the same kind of speed and pace, but then it's an exhale through the mouth. Interesting to maybe also notice in your own imagination, if you are smelling flowers on the inhale, which flowers they are, what color they have. Stimulating your right brain, your fantasy world. Four more rounds of breath here. Nice breathings. Gently lift your head back to the center. Untwist. And if you know that you found that you needed a belt on the other side, you might need it on this side as well. If you're on a prop, come off your prop. And then come into your figure four. Lift the right leg up. The belt can go around the sole of the foot. Again, also an inversion. So if you sit a lot behind a desk, or run a lot, so you're really, using your legs in a way that they're down, this is extremely beneficial. So for most of us, just so you know, we are probably this year, hopefully, if you enjoy flying and traveling and all of that, be in planes again a little bit more than we used to, maybe not all of us, but leg up the wall. So in some way, have your legs up, could be both legs or even this position. After you have been traveling for a while, it can even be in a train or in a bus, you know, but specifically in a plane, it's very, very beneficial. It will reduce that swelling of the feet. Breathe, notice your breath, notice it travel through the nose, through the throat, how it fills up your lungs. And because the lungs fill up like a balloon, it expands into the rib cage, the front, the side, the back, a whole like 360-degree expansion. And then follow your exhale where the rib cage just comes back to neutral. The air comes out of through the throat, out of the mouth. Swallowing and even making your lips a little wet can help you relax the mouth and the jaw and the face. Oh, I needed this after that rat race in the car. It's just so beautiful to know that you have the opportunity and the tools and the practices to counter. So, you know, if we've been in traffic, which is hectic energy, just taking 5-10 minutes to sit still with the legs up the wall will make you a different person. Not that you have to change anything about you. You're just the way, you're perfect the way you are, but your evening, the rest of the evening is most likely going to be a little bit more centered and grounded. If you just pause when you were aware, okay, that was quite hectic. Let me counter for that. Not with like a cigarette or drinking, but more just the stillness. Countering that hectic energy with soft energy, with grounded energy, still energy. Because we do get triggered, it's normal. The outer world asks for our attention. Sometimes we get frustrated, even by, you know, dealing with other people. But we can be aware, and that awareness is just so massively powerful. So our reactions will be different, and you create your own reality. The words you choose, the actions you choose. I think I've shared my, normally I do an intention every morning. This year I just have it's a prayer, but you know, it's more like just a focus of the serenity. They call it the serenity prayer. So it's like, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And it's interesting how often it applies. Even now, when I was rushing in the car, it's like, okay, I just need to be serene. That this is what it is. I need to accept it. And if something is bothering you, we sometimes just need to find the courage to do something about it or say something about it. And then that subtle wisdom of knowing the difference. Where can our actions and our words, you know, make a difference or not? It's a beautiful dance. Take another deep breath in. And a nice sigh out. Ooh, release. That was quite intense for my left hip. More intense for left than right. Bring the feet down and just Gently sway your knees from right to left. Oh, crack. Yeah, very nice. We've got one more shape before our final resting shape. Our final resting shape is Shavasana, but that will come later. So now just roll onto a side and then onto hands and knees. Different people, different options. Puppy's pose will look like this. So your knees are below your hips and you melt your chest down. Now you can walk your elbows a little closer and lift the palms up. So it's a strong stretch into the shoulders. If you want to have a bit of support, a bolster or something under your chest, just need to figure it out a little bit, might actually just help you to relax so you can stretch more into the shoulders. If you want more, if you're like, okay, this doesn't do much for me, you can place 1 or 2 blocks, excuse me, that just you can do with or without your bolster. And then that height will allow you to stretch deeper. Be careful with your lower back. Yeah, so suck the navel in towards the spine. That's it. Are you okay there, Dave? You're good. Do you want to use this one? Are you injured on a shoulder?
No, just had so much.
Oh, well, then it's actually good. But then take this, and then just see where we can go.
I can't put this thing up.
Okay, but you can get it bent.
Yeah,
So this elbow cannot come here. Is that too much?
No, but actually feels okay.
So make it a little wider. How is that?
Yeah, I can manage that.
But manage like not like pain, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, but you can move out. You can always extend your arms in front here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find a shape where you're symmetrical because you obviously will compensate a bit, but this will help because it takes the pressure a little bit off the shoulders. Nice, Emma. That's it, Jeremy. Beautiful, beautiful, Margarita. Because here in this practice, there's no, I have to stay, I'm committing, I have to. No, it's the opposite. We feel into the edge, we breathe, maybe stay a breath or two longer, but there's no pushing. Breathe towards any resistance that you might feel anywhere in the body. And exhale out of the mouth. Helps the shoulders to find softness. If you feel that the lower back is sensitive, tuck your tailbone a little bit. Let your sit bones, rather than sticking up, like in cat stretch, rather than them sticking up, let them go a little bit like it's a cow. And then hug your navel in towards the spine. You've got a little bit more space between the vertebra of the lower back on the back side, and there's a bit of support from the abdominal wall. letting go with every exhale, surrendering into the experience. Feeling the space. The chest is so nice and open here, so it's relatively easy to deepen and slow down the breath. Also depending on if there's any other physical edge, but there is space for the chest to expand. So focus on that, notice that. Take one more deep breath in and a lovely sigh out of the mouth. Be gentle when you move out because the muscles are super relaxed. So in any way that works for you, you might want to come forward. Forward might be the easiest way. So just slide onto the belly. So you might just roll. If there's a prop, as soon as you come forward, there's less pressure on the shoulders. Move the prop away. And then just simply turn onto your back for your Shavasana. Shavasana is our ultimate resting pose. If this is uncomfortable for you, then just bend your knees. You can even let the knees fall in towards each other. And then just be still. Not moving a single muscle. Just relaxing. And I'll let you know when it's time to move again. You don't even have to pay attention to the breath. if you are in a very peaceful place, specifically if you're at home and you've got more time, use this time to be with yourself, maybe to even take another 5 to 10 minutes to meditate or journal, any of the interesting insights, thoughts, or feelings that might have arisen. But we have a lovely evening ahead of us. So let's start to bring some movement into the body. Little movements, fingers and toes. While you do that, notice, become aware of the energy that surrounds you, that is inside you. And hold on to that calm, grounded energy in the rest of the evening, if you can. And then hold your knees, bring your knees into your chest. If you wiggle a little from right to left, you just feel the openness and spaciousness in the hips. And then roll onto a side. And from your side, you gently come back up into a seated position. May we all have the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, and the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you for being here, for slowing down, for being, for taking care of yourself. Namaste. Take your time.